The total FGM proposed expenditure. The total FGM proposed expenditure is 13.08 trillion. So it is expected that the budget that will be presented will be based on 13.08 trillion total expenditure. The fiscal deficit is 5.20 trillion, including all the GOEs. New borrowings is expected to be 4.28 trillion, including foreign and domestic borrowing, while the statutory transfers will be 484.49 billion, debt service 3.12 trillion, and sinking fund, of course, is 220 billion. Pension gratuities, retiree benefits is 520.69 billion. Total FGN expenditure, as said, is 13.08 trillion. Total recurrent non-debt is 5.67 trillion. Personnel cost, MDAs plus GOEs, is 3.76 trillion. The capital expenditure exclusive of transfers is 3.58 trillion. And special intervention recurrent is 350 billion, while special intervention on capital is 20 billion. These are the parameters as adopted by the committees. Further recommendations are that the House is to mandate the committees on finance, national planning and economic development in partnership with the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning and the Auditor General of the Federation to conduct a detailed analysis of all ministries, departments and agencies of MDAs funded by the federal government of Nigeria budget to identify more agencies that need to be taken off the budget, wholly or partially, and those that need to be retained to further reduce the deficit burden of the federal budget and free up more resources for other critical projects. We also recommended that on auto policy, the committee recommends downward review of the levy imposed on imported vehicles to 15% and 20% on both commercial buses and trucks. That the committees recommend enhancement of capacities of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, personnel and technology deployment to boost non-oil revenue collection. That the House do commence the process of amending the Establishment Acts of all revenue-generating agencies to conform with the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007. The committee also recommends the amendment of sections 21 and 22 of the FRA to conform with the current circular on the expenditure to revenue ratios of 70-30 and 60-40 issued by the executives. The 70-30 for big organizations and MDAs and 60-40 for the smaller ones. That the Nigerian Customs Service devise plans and policies to facilitate trade, as the already signed African Continental First Trade Area will reduce revenue, while collaborations with neighboring countries are improved for increased transnational transborder trade for more IGR by the Nigerian Customs Service. The committee also recommends that the federal government, through its relevant MDAs, be advised to be more proactive in improving the welfare and well-being of citizens and residents in border communities across Nigeria. Finally, the committee recommends that the proposed Finance Act 2019 Amendment Bill to be submitted to the National Assembly by the Executive consider the amendment of sections of Fiscal Responsibility Act to address the lacuna created in the Stamp Duties Administration in Nigeria. This will eliminate losses and needless rivalry amongst MDAs. Mr. Chairman, honorable colleagues, I so move.
If you are approving benchmark of $40, you are approving benchmark of $40. If you are saying the various parameters that have been, so actually for me, the findings should read recommendation because they are the ones that are very consequential for the budget. Otherwise, if we approve them or consider them as observations and go to recommendations, the benchmark and the other collateral recommendations will not be there.
9.0 recommendation 1, 2. The recommendations were divided into 2 recommendations, category A and recommendation category B. We approved the recommendations under A, all recommendations under A, and recommendation, what's this? 8 was approved subject to clarification of figures therein. We also approved recommendations in under B, 9 to 30, and under B, 1 to 10.